Hi students, it's Miss Tiffany here. I'm so excited to make some art with you today. So first we're going to go over some review of our basic art supplies. This just means what you might have around the house with you. We're going to try to make some artwork with it. And then when we're done, we're going to play some art supplies bingo. At any time during this video, you may pause it to answer questions or just in case I go a little too fast for you so that you can pause and catch up. Before we get started, we're going to go over our guidelines for success. So if you can sign them or say them with me. All right? We are stars. Stay positive, try your best, always be helpful, respect yourself and others. Good job doing that along with me. So we're going to make some art based on Jackson Pollock. He was an American artist famous for making action paintings. I'm going to put a few pictures here for you to see, and that's what we're going to try to do with our basic art supplies that we have at home. Here are some Jackson Pollock action paintings. You might describe them as colorful or messy. What are some other words to describe them? And I'm going to color all over my paper with whatever supplies I have until my entire paper is full. So to start with, you need a blank piece of paper. You could use notebook paper, or if you have some computer paper like I do, you could use that. You could even use newspaper. I'm going to start with markers. I have some markers at my house that look like this, and then I have others that look like this. I even have some that look like this. And they have two different tops to them. So these are my markers. I'm just gonna go ahead and just start coloring. I can make different lines. I can make all sorts of shapes. Sometimes I'm going to speed up my video while I'm making my art, but you take your time while you create your masterpiece. I think I'm gonna move on to crayons. I'm gonna go ahead and go with this orange color. Yeah. Maybe this blue. Maybe you want to rotate your paper just to get different spots in different areas. Maybe you have crayons at home too. Here is a colored pencil. I'm going to do this one over here on this side. Now I'm getting a yellow pencil and rotating my paper. You can always go in different directions. We just want to make sure we fill up the entire page. I'm really liking this. What's next? I'm gonna go with a pencil. Now you might have pencils like this, or you might have pencils like this. I'm gonna go with this one for now. I have a lot of different ink pens at my house. I think I'm gonna go with this one. While you make your Jackson Pollock inspired artwork, you can color anywhere you want on the page with whatever colors you feel like. If that means all you want to use is pencils and pens, that's fine with me. This is your artwork. Now I'm going to move on to the wet art supplies. That means things like paint or glue. that's what we can do now since we colored the whole paper. First, I'm gonna start with watercolors. You might have watercolors that look like this. I also have watercolors that come in a tube, like this. So I'm going to get my paintbrush wet. That's another art supply, a paintbrush. So I'm gonna get it wet, and I think I'm gonna use purple. Now when I use this, I'm not gonna cover the whole paper because I just don't want to, but you can if you want to. I think that looks good to me. Now I'm going to use this acrylic paint that comes in a tube. I think I'm just going to splotch this on the page in different spots. You put your paint wherever you feel like. Okay, next here at home, I also have tempera paint.
I'm just gonna splatter it around. Oh, those are fun colors.
And I also have puffy paint in pink.
So I'm gonna draw with my puppy paint.
Now at this point, you can do what you feel to just keep adding layers to your painting, watching out for the wet paint, and layering color on top of color until your entire paper is filled up. I think I'm going to add in some more watercolor. I'm gonna go for orange. And maybe I'll even splatter it on there a little bit. That looks fun. So you can just take your paintbrush, and if that's kind of hard to do, you can also take another utensil and just hit your paintbrush against it. As always, make sure your area is well covered. You can use newspaper for this, or just make sure you clean off your table when you're done. Ooh, I like that. I think I'm gonna do some green too. I think that is a finished painting. Now that we're done making some wonderful art today, we're gonna play our bingo game. You can decide at home if you're gonna do 4 corners, a kite, 5 in a row, or an all bingo blackout. That's up to you. As I said before, you may pause the video at any time while you're looking for the symbol that I hold up, or answering questions, or just in case I go too fast for you, okay? I'm gonna use a blue marker to make an X through the ones that I get. And start with your free space. Just like so. Okay, the first one up is white. This is the color white. And next is scissors. We use scissors in art sometimes. And then pen. This is a pen. Markers. This is the symbol for markers. And a ruler. Here's a picture of a ruler. Pencil. Here's a pencil. I'm getting pretty close. I have 4 in a row. Black. Colored pencils. Paintbrush. Green. I got 5 in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Red. I'm wearing a lot of red today. Brown. Colored paper. Gray. Glue stick. Yellow. Watercolors. Purple. Blue. Blue is my favorite color. Lined paper. Pink. Paint. Last but not least, paint. You should all have a blackout now too. Thank you for playing Art Supply and Color Bingo. I had a great time making art with you. I would love to see your Jackson Pollock inspired artwork that you made today. So you can send pictures to your classroom teacher and I will be able to see them. I would also love to know what kind of art supplies you do have at home, because if you don't have very much, maybe I could supply some. So go ahead and send a list to your classroom teachers of what supplies your student already has. And then anything extra that we use for an art activity, I will mail out beforehand. Are there any other art supplies that maybe we didn't talk about today? I can think of a couple, maybe like tape or glitter or even stickers. Are there any more that you can think of? All right, well, that's all we have for our art lesson today. Until next time.